After hearing a great deal about uphill flow and performance upgrades from Bosch over the last few weeks and months, Bosch is now presenting the term street flow for the 2027 model year, which specifically means the concept of light and efficient urban mobility. What that looks like in practice and what all of the new features from Bosch for 2027 are, I'll show you right here and now in this video. So just come along. The most significant innovation and a real paradigm shift for Bosch is, of course, the brand new Bosch Hub Line rear hub motor, which now basically provides bicycle manufacturers with the versatile option to offer a full Bosch system with the smart system, but not as a traditional mid-drive system, but for the rear wheel instead. And that's incredibly exciting and a major development because all the smart system components you're already familiar with are fully compatible with this new system. All connections, all cables, all displays can be paired with it. I must admit, the motor is actually surprisingly small and remarkably light. The whole system is very light. The motor weighs less than 2.5 kilos and of course offers manufacturers a great way to design nice, clean urban bikes. It has a total of 45 Newton meters applied directly to the rear wheel and is equipped with a standard Shimano mount for cassettes, belt pulleys and other similar components, so it's also compatible with up to 12 speeds. And there is one particular thing Bosch has solved very cleverly here, and in my opinion no one has ever really managed to do it like this in the rear hub motor sector yet. You can already see here, on the side there are these small specialized screws that allow the motor to be easily removed from the housing during servicing. What this means is that in a service case or for maintenance work, the motor can be taken out. To do that, you just have to disconnect this small plug connection, then you can take the whole unit off and you can already remove the motor from the rear wheel, send it in for repair and put in a new one, making it incredibly straightforward and super easy to maintain without having to lace or unlace the entire rear wheel. It's also through-axle compatible, 12mm, 148mm rear end. So standard bike dimensions there too, which offer as much flexibility as possible, even compatible with trailers. That is also a viable option for manufacturers to approve so that I can ride a bike with this motor even with a trailer. Performance-wise, it definitely delivers as it provides a significant amount of power in turbo mode. I've already taken it for a test ride too. You'll find the video later on our channel or I've linked it for you up here. Alongside the new hub line motor, there's also a new battery, the PowerTube 360, currently the slimmest and most compact in-tube battery Bosch has brought to market. As the name suggests, it offers 360 watt-hours, which, in combination with the motor, translates to around 80 kilometers in eco mode. In turbo mode, you're looking at roughly 35 kilometers, mainly because the motor can deliver up to 400 watts of peak power. But for the intended use cases of this motor, it's more than sufficient. In combination with the motor, the battery capacity is currently limited to a maximum of 600 watt-hours. So at this stage, Bosch doesn't plan to pair this motor with an 800 watt-hour battery. That would also add quite a bit of weight. From Bosch's perspective, there's simply no real need for it. In theory, it could still be made possible via a software update. And there's one last small restriction here regarding the riding modes. In principle, all riding modes are available and can be customized via the Flow app. Restrictions only apply to the MTB, MTB Plus and Tour Plus modes. These aren't compatible simply because the torque sensor is missing here. The hub motor is regulated by various sensors, position and acceleration sensors, and the cadence sensor on the chainring. So it's definitely a noticeable limitation, but overall it's still a fully featured smart system e-bike. Also new in Bosch's motor segment is the Active Line Plus motor, now also in the smart system. It is a familiar system we have here, which has been made a bit lighter, specifically for urban use and for the entry-level e-bike market segment. To be honest, maybe not that exciting, but along with it there's a brand new PowerTube battery, and I find that to be really exciting. And there's a bit more to tell about that. And we can see it right here in the very familiar silver casing. You may recognize this. It's the housing of the 800 watt-hour battery and also the 600 watt-hour version. So if you're putting two and two together here, it's going to be interchangeable. And that's exactly where the new PowerTube 720 comes into play. The 720 watt-hours come from the fact that Bosch isn't using the very latest battery cells here. Even so, you still get plenty of power and solid range. And the real highlight is that, thanks to the slightly older or less cutting-edge cell technology, this battery comes at a more attractive price point. And that's naturally interesting for everyone who says, well, my 800 watt-hour battery might be getting a bit old, or I'd like to get a second battery but don't want to spend 1,000 euros. They'll find an alternative here with plenty of power for retrofitting. Keep in mind, this is also available again in a horizontal and vertical version. So just check what's installed on yours if you have an 800 watt-hour battery. Usually it's the horizontal version, which is then also compatible with the 600 watt-hour battery or the 600 watt-hour battery compartment. So that's just a new way to use your bike with an additional battery or as a second battery. You can find it in our shop, of course. I've linked it for you in the description below. There's also a small update for the Bosch ConnectModule, a classic on our channel, I would say. We have many videos on how to retrofit the different versions. That will continue to exist, as will the mount. The only new thing here is that we now have a cover for the battery that will be replaceable, or rather it's a small battery that's charged via the main battery that will basically be replaceable in the future. But there's also a small hardware upgrade, namely a Bluetooth Low Energy, interface or search function. This simply means that you can pinpoint the exact location of your bike even more precisely, or to put it simply, especially professional bike finders can now locate your bike even more accurately than before. It works like this. Imagine you've lost your bike and the GPS signal tells you the bike is in a certain general area. Then you can use a dedicated smartphone app to search for it and find out exactly, down to the meter, where it is. So you can verify it's definitely stored in this specific basement compartment or in this garage, or that's most likely where the bike is. That makes it much easier to get access to your bike there and find it again. So it's a small innovation here, but one that already has a very big impact on crime tracking and recovery. It's supposed to be available starting this autumn. You'll find it in our shop too. New for the 2027 model year from Bosch in the ConnectModule range is this holder right on the frame, which allows the ConnectModule to be mounted on a bottle cage mount. This is especially interesting for the hub motor because we no longer have a motor cover where we can hide the GPS tracker. That's why it's mounted directly on the frame here. And depending on the manufacturer, you now have a hole here that leads into the frame. For me, this is a really smart solution to simply ensure security on these new bikes equipped with rear hub motors too. Not the biggest innovation for the 2027 model year, but for me the absolute highlight of the Bosch novelties, the new LED controller, also in combination with the new Intuvia 200. Together with the new hub motor, this creates a kind of synergy aimed at delivering sleek urban minimalist bikes. At the same time though, it actually has quite a big impact for all of you out there already riding a smart system bike, because this LED controller is, in my opinion, pretty much the most minimalistic option if you want to ride without a dedicated display. It has the familiar controls like the ones you know from the LED remote, for example. You can switch the support levels up and down with the plus and minus buttons, switch the walk assist and also the light on and off, and of course you have a confirmation button and an on-off switch. So far, so familiar. But now you have a much smaller dimension and it basically just slides onto the handlebar here. This is also important. It no longer comes with a clamp, but the grip must be removed and then install the new control unit with a 22.2mm clamp, which ensures greater robustness and allows it to be integrated nice and cleanly into the handlebar. And my absolute favorite feature is this new toggle switch, which you can use to switch back and forth between left and right. You no longer have two buttons, it rather really goes back and forth with nice haptic feedback. It's just fun to switch back and forth if you have a display. And there is also a new innovation that didn't exist with the LED remote before. You have the USB-C interface at the back for diagnostics, which should also supply your phone with up to 10 watts of charging power now, depending on exactly what kind of motor you have or whether you're currently riding with high beam. We'll provide and present the exact specifications to you later in a more detailed video. And as it should be in the smart system, it's fully compatible with all smart system bikes. Meaning, if you say you're a fan of this control unit because the LED remote is maybe a bit too bulky and large for you, then you can easily retrofit it, unplug your old LED remote and simply connect the new one with the familiar display cable and you are ready to hit the road. You can easily monitor and check the modes and battery level right up here. You can tell from the colors whether you're in turbo mode, eMTB+, or whatever mode you've selected. And the small status indicator light, it's green right now, shows you your remaining battery level. It's green up to 50%, then will turn to a solid orange, then red, and if it flashes red, well, you'll soon have to pedal home without support or swap in a spare battery. So that's really smart, and you can find it in our shop if you want to retrofit it. It has absolutely and completely won my heart. The brand new Intuvia 200 definitely deserves a great deal of extra appreciation as well. The display was completely redesigned, so it has nothing to do with the Intuvia 100 anymore. You can tell by the fact that it now is a wired system using the standard display cable. So if you already have an existing wired display, you can just swap it out for a new one or retrofit it very easily. Just plug the display cable from the motor in here and connect it to your remote with a short one. Typical for an Intuvia, it's a black and white display, but it is exceptionally high resolution, very clear, remarkably bright, and can be individually adjusted across 10 different brightness levels, which can be controlled automatically via a light sensor, or you can just adjust it yourself. It's easy to set up, and in keeping with the times, you also have a dark mode and a light mode here, so you can decide how you want to view it. There's also a status bar up here that's always visible. There is the speed and time here as well. Everything is fully configured, and right down here at the bottom, like on the first Intuvia from eBike System 2, there is a bar where you can display a wide range of different data points. And this is now finally possible. Everything can be customized, not just via the eBike Flow app as you usually do, but directly on the display itself in the menu, where you can choose exactly which ride data to show, from your heart rate to the range and so on. We'll also do a separate tutorial on how that works in detail. We'll show you there. That would be a bit too much for right now. It comes with a fixed mount and 31.8 or 35mm clamping. So you have to attach it right here. But you can also manually adjust the viewing angle to perfectly suit your preference. You can even mount it over a stem if you like. There will also be a separate video on how to retrofit everything, but it has a big advantage. It's really stylish, super slim, but it's not removable. For that, you'd need to go with the kiosk. But it also has a great price point at 90 euros, so it's very attractive. This represents a significant upgrade for the Intuvia with the Intuvia 200. That is all for now regarding the 2027 innovations from Bosch. Of course, there will be plenty more exciting content on our channel over the coming weeks and months, and it is already in the process of being prepared. This includes a comprehensive test of the Bosch hub motor and also a deeper look at what Bosch actually intended with this paradigm shift. And of course, we also have plenty of tutorials lined up for you. So check them out and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. I'd also be interested to hear your opinion on the new products. Is this a real innovation that Bosch is pushing forward, or are they perhaps backing the wrong horse with the new rear hub motor? Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, you'll find links to all the new parts in the video description. We'd be happy if you took a look. Other than that, have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you here again very soon.